Welcome to another episode of JCITB-TV. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the New Jersey drone situation, so stay tuned.
JCITB-TV.
Alright, so let's get to it, guys. So I'm pretty sure everybody has been hearing about what's been going on for the last couple of weeks pertaining to these drones in New Jersey. Me, myself, I'm from New Jersey, born and raised, so this is close to home. Right now, we're a couple weeks out, and we're already hearing that it's not only in New Jersey anymore, it's in a lot of other different places other than New Jersey. So this thing has, it becomes spread out a little bit. So anyway, a lot of people asking questions. People want to know what's going on. People are hearing different things. They're hearing different stories. They're hearing different scenarios. So today I hope that we can tackle a couple of them just so that we could be ahead of the game. Now, there's a lot of theories going on out there. So let's just talk about some of the possibilities. These are things that have been floating around in the air. So we just want to tackle them. So one of the theories that's going on is that people are saying that these drones are releasing chemicals and causing biological warfare. Another one is that these drones are sent out by other countries to spy on us. Another one is they're saying that this is the technology which is called Project Bluebeam. Another theory is that these drones are distracting us from the Orbs / stars / angels. And one of the other ones is that these drones are preparing us for alien invasion, the welcoming of the aliens. So to be honest, all these are good speculations, and I think all of them have something to do with one another. So let's just get a little deeper into the topic and let's talk about some things. Now, in all honesty, I find it a little fishy that the governments of the United States are acting like they have no idea of what's going on. You have a lot of these government officials saying, we don't know what this stuff is. We're trying to figure it out ourselves.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
Sir, the FBI and our Newark field office, along with the state and local partners there, the Bureau is actively investigating the situation you mentioned, just the unexplained sighting of drone activity.
Everybody's just coming out and acting like they have no idea. Now, we're talking about the government here. The government officials of the United States who know everything, like you can't hide anything from the government. So I find it a little far-fetched to think that the government has no idea what's going on. Now there's even some government officials who are saying that these things aren't human, that they're not from us. So right there, they're implying that these things are basically extraterrestrial or something like that. You know what I mean? But again, we know better than that. We know that the government knows exactly what's going on and they're just hiding it from the public. One of the things I ask myself is, if you guys don't know what's going on or what they are, why aren't you guys shooting them down? After all, if they're foreign to the United States, they're trespassing. And usually the government, they quick with the trigger on stuff like that. Now, let's talk about some of the scenarios that have been going around, some of the videos that have been floating around when it comes to these drones. I've seen a couple videos where the drones are in some areas and there's a parking lot full of cars and the lights on all the cars are just blinking on and off like if it's some type of crazy malfunction. Some people are saying that these drones are causing these cars to do it. I think I saw a couple other videos too where it was the car lights flashing on and off and also the street lights. Some of the reports that are going out, and even in some videos, they're saying that these drones are not just regular house-held drones, that these drones, some of them are the size of small cars.
Some are very big, probably size of a car.
Now, when you think about that, like imagine these things are the size of small cars. Now, imagine one of these drones malfunctioning, falling down to the earth and just injuring somebody. If these things are the size of small cars, they can definitely injure somebody. So this is kind of crazy. Like I said, we're not just talking about the regular drone that people have and they send up just to, use it for the camera and different things like that. These things are the size of cars. Like stuff like that should make you think a little more deeper into this situation. You know what I mean? There's also been a couple of situations where I saw videos of people shooting at the drones. And one of the videos that I saw was somebody shooting at the drone. The drone was high up in the sky, but the bullets weren't doing nothing to it. It was like these bullets were just going through the drones or just going around the drones. But long story short, it wasn't doing nothing. The bullets were of no effect. Then I saw another video of a decent sized drone flying. It was low to the ground, and it was flying across somebody's field. And there was a gentleman there who had a big 2x4, and he threw the 2x4 up at the drone, and the 2x4 got caught up in the drone propellers, and it just crashed the drone down to the floor. So I thought that video was interesting. So some of these people were realizing that these drones are in their areas and they're taking stuff into their own hands. You know, they're trying to shoot these drones, they're trying to knock these drones down. I guess they're trying to see themselves what's really going on with this stuff, because the government isn't really helping. So people are getting tired of the nonsense and taking things into their own hands. There's also videos out there of these drones spraying some type of chemical out of them or something like that. So people are thinking, are these drones coming out here poisoning our crops, or just setting out these poisonous things in the world so that people could get sick? Again, these are just theories that are out there, but I did see a video where it seems to look like a drone was spraying something, but who knows exactly what that is. Now, one of the other things I wanted to touch on too was civilians themselves are curious to see what's going on. So you have a lot of people who are sending up their own personal drones up to the sky, basically trying to see what these other drones are about. Like, as soon as it got to the aerial space next to the other drone, their drone started to malfunction, and all of a sudden their drone just dropped straight down. You see another couple, they were trying to send their personal drone up, but their drone just started malfunctioning right there before it even went to the sky. They're trying to figure out what was going on. They checked the batteries. They said the batteries was good, and they had no idea what was going on.
My drone does not want to go up with these things around.
The battery's dead?
There's no way the battery's dead. It's fully charged.
There's zero. It won't let me.
What is going on? Okay, these are fully charged batteries. It's 2 batteries that have died within seconds, and the drone went up and, like a couple feet off the table, and then came right back down.
So it seems as these drones that are unidentified are really causing a problem to other regular drones from us civilians. You know, it's like some of us may be trying to put our drones up there and they're just not working for some strange reason.
Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones.
Why do you think that is? We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
So that is just letting us know that these drones that are up there are capable of doing things that our regular drones are not able to do. So that's something to think about right there. Now, when we talk about these drones, we have to sit there and ask ourselves these questions. What are they for? We know we're in the age right now of technology, and we see where everything is going. We see that this technology is taking over. We see human beings are losing their jobs and getting replaced with robots. So another theory is, can this be the introduction of these drones becoming more of a reality in our everyday normal lives? What I mean by that is this. Picture these drones start to become the #1 way to get around. You know how we have Amazon trucks, we got the UPS, we got FedEx that go and deliver these packages. Now imagine the human aspect of that starts to cut down and these drones become the new way of transportation. You know, you start to see drones flying all over the road, delivering packages, delivering your food. And it gets to the point where it's like, we don't really need human beings anymore because we got these machines that are doing the work for us cheaper. We don't got to worry about them getting tired. We don't got to worry about them asking for vacations and sick days. These drones are going to do what they're going to do, and they're going to do it 100% way better than these human beings can.
There will come a point where no job is needed. You can have a job if you want to have a job for sort of personal satisfaction, but the AI will be able to do everything.
So I really think that's a possibility too right there. So, you know, we just have to think about all those things to keep them in the back of our head, because there's so many different things that could be going on when it comes to this. And to top it off, imagine these drones being used as weapons. Right now, you know, we have police officers. You know, we have Army veterans. We have those who are our protectors, you know what I mean? And imagine they start to do away with them. Imagine they start implementing these drones to be the new officers of the law, if you know what I mean. So picture, 911 getting called, and they're like, there's something going on, these people are shooting, or we have terrorists or whatever. Instead of sending the humans, they're going to come with these drones ASAP, equipped with weaponry, and they're going to take care of the job. You don't got to worry about losing no bodies or nothing like that. And there's a lot of movies out there in Hollywood that depict these things. One of the movies that comes to mind is the movie The Purge, election year, where they show these people coming out of a truck. They're all armed with firearms. And then all of a sudden you see these drones come and start shooting at these people. So this stuff has been going on in movies for a long, long time now. And with artificial intelligence, we see where this road is going, This is what they're pushing. So I wouldn't find it far-fetched to think that these drones can be being introduced as that. But guys, it's way deeper than that, so let's move on. Now let's talk about the real cover-up. Everybody's so focused on these drones. The news media is covering these drone situations all around the board. All they keep talking about is the drones, the drones, the drones, the drones. And I think everybody is so deceived and not really paying attention to what's going on. Because in a lot of these videos, when you see these drones, you see orbs. Even if you don't see the drones, you're seeing all these orbs pop up all around the place. And nobody's really talking about those things. We're so focused on these drones that we're bypassing these orbs that we're seeing in the sky. You know what I mean? So what's going on with these orbs? Me personally, I think that's what we really need to be paying attention to, the orbs. Because what if these drones are a distraction? Imagine the governments know what's going on with these orbs, and they knew that these orbs were going to start to manifest, and they had to find a plan B so that they could distract the people who are looking up at the sky, not to pay attention to the orbs, but to pay attention to these drones that they're putting out. I think that'd be a good tactic on the government's behalf to do something just like that. And to me, it's very alarming because I'm seeing all these videos about these orbs, and the newscasters aren't really talking about the orbs. So that's why I want to talk about these things. It's crazy because some of these orbs that you're seeing in these videos are like multiplying. And what I mean by that is this. If you look at one of these videos, you see like the orb. It's like a single orb. Then you keep paying attention, then another one comes out of it. And then another orb comes out of it. And then another orb comes out of it. And it's just like you see these things multiplying. You're like, yo, what the heck is this? And some of them, you start to see them like change. You start to see them like basically shapeshift. Like there's this one video I was looking at, and it's an orb, and as you're paying attention to it, it's in its shape. But then you start to pay more attention to it, and as you keep on watching, you see that an object is coming out of it, and then an object turns into like a airplane or something like that. It's weird, you know what I mean? So what could these things be? Is it something where like a portal is being opened and these entities are now coming into our realm? You know what I mean? Like, and when I say entities, most people think I'm talking about aliens. I'm not talking about aliens because there's no such thing as aliens. And what I mean is no such thing as other life forces on other planets. These things that are portraying to be aliens are nothing but fallen angels and demons. So this is part of the grand scheme of things. This huge deception that's going to be coming up in this world. And as we see recently, within the last couple years, everybody, the news media outlets, the governments have been now prepping everybody for this alien visitation. Before, it was a conspiracy to even believe aliens. It was a conspiracy to believe that we have other life forms in different planets. But now all of a sudden, everybody's promoting it now. Why is that? It's because they're desensitizing us, and they want us to start to have that belief system in these aliens from other planets. So when they do come, it's normal and it's not so much of a shock to us. So if we're paying so much attention to these drones that something else is going on behind the scenes, we need to be mindful of that. We know how the government plays around, and we know that, yes, we live in a physical world, but there's also a spiritual world. We are in a physical body, yes, but we are spiritual beings. You know what I mean? And the scriptures warn us about all these things. They warn us about the false signs, wonders in the sky. That's why Jesus said, when you look up to the sky and you start to see these things, rejoice because your redemption draws near, meaning he's coming soon. And he warned us about the deception that we're going to be seeing in the skies. You know what I mean? So, of course, when we read those things, we're not thinking about aliens or nothing like that. We're just thinking about regular stuff in the sky. Let's start to look with our spiritual eyes and think with our spiritual minds. Like, I don't need movies and stuff to tell me what's going on because I'm seeing these things with my own eyes. There's videos out there of some of these drones that are up in the sky getting close to these orbs. It's like these drones are spying on these orbs and checking them out. And then they start to get a little closer, and all of a sudden, these orbs release something and they just straight up take the drone out. You see these drones just start flying down like nothing. So there's something really powerful about these orbs that are in the sky. Earlier, I said orbs / angels / stars, because we know that the scriptures refer to angels as stars. So if these orbs are principalities coming from another dimension, coming into our dimension, we can see what the scripture means by that. This language isn't far-fetched to us because we pay attention to what's going on. So you guys may just look in the sky and see these stars and just think they're stars, although there are just stars out there. But stars are not just regular physical stars that are there to light up our earth. There's other principalities that we're dealing with. That's why the scripture says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Again, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And I think these are the things that people are ignoring right here. You know, we're living in biblical times, and all these crazy things that have been going on since last year are just kicking up this year, and they're going to kick up some more 2025. You understand? So let's pay attention to these things. Now, when it comes to these portals and everything, I want to talk about CERN. For those who don't know, CERN and the Hadron Collider, the LHC, is a 27-kilometer ring of superconducting magnets that accelerates protons and ions to near the speed of light. The particles are then made to collide at 4 points around the machine. What it can do, it transforms matter into energy and backs it into different forms of matter, produces and collides energetic photons, collides pure energy in the form of electromagnetic waves, reveals the secrets of dark matter, which makes up 85% of our universe. So in layman's terms, what they're basically saying is they're using this technology to play around so they can introduce the spiritual realm with the physical realm. They're trying to bring in these principalities into our realm in an easier fashion. Why do I say in an easier fashion? Because we know principalities can travel from the spiritual world to this world. But for the evil principalities, it's not that easy for them to just come like whenever they want. They have to do certain things in order for them to come to this realm. Some of the times it's not easy. That's why these people who do witchcraft and perform rituals always are calling up upon these spirits so that they could come and manifest themselves into our realm. So it ain't nothing crazy. This stuff has been going on in the Bible times. It's going on now, and it ain't nothing new.
Well, basically, there are parallel universes, infinite variations of it.
Like the Veil of Shadows.
And the tightrope is our dimension. And our dimension has rules. You can move forwards or backwards. The flea can also travel this way.
Upside down.
Exactly.
Is there any way for the acrobat to get to the upside down?
You'd have to create a massive amount of energy. Open up some kind of tear in time and space. You create a doorway, like a gate.
We're in a friendly competition with CERN, particle accelerator in Switzerland. They did a similar video making fun of the satanic panic about their opening. So what can we do to convince you we are not Satan worshippers?
In the proton collider, they broke through something, but there's something there. Something under the concrete. A creature. They dragged that woman into it.
Now, I don't think us speaking about principalities and portals are a far-fetched thing. In scripture, we see these kinds of things happening. You know what I mean? Like, let's just pay attention to the story of Jacob's ladder. Jacob saw this spiritual ladder that was in heaven coming down to earth. And he said he saw these angels ascending and descending back and forth into heaven, you know? So when we think about that, it's kind of like a portal because the heavenly realm is meeting with this physical realm. Like we always see in the scriptures where the angels are leaving that heavenly realm and coming into this physical realm. You know what I mean? We see the 3 angels that came out and were physically talking with Abraham. They were eating with Abraham. We also have stories like the Tower of Babel where a lot of people just like think that Nimrod had these people just build a tower because they were trying to get out of Earth. Like, first of all, they know they're not getting out of Earth. One, because there's a rakia that's there. There's a firmament that is there that will not let anyone leave this earth. Now, you may not believe in that, but we believe in the biblical scriptures. We believe in the biblical cosmology of biblical earth. So we understand that God placed a rakia that separates the waters from above from the waters below. So when we talk about the Tower of Babel, they know about the biblical cosmology. They know they weren't going to leave this earth and go into God's realm. Just like that, I believe we're seeing something more spiritual. Them trying to get to that high place where they're trying to go through a portal, where they're trying to activate something that they can get into that realm of where God is at. So let's think about these things in a more spiritual manner, because a lot of the times we under spiritualize things, and then there are times where we over spiritualize things. But that's why we have to have a healthy balance. A lot of the times we read the Bible with physical eyes when this book is alive and it's a spiritual book. And sometimes we're missing so many things because we're reading it in a way where it's not meant to be read. That's why we always pray for guidance when we read this so that he can be our teacher, you know? Even when we hear about stories like when Philip baptized the eunuch, and then all of a sudden after that, God took him away and then he ended up somewhere else. Is that some type of portal that God is using himself? But are these some forms of means that God uses in order to transport some of his people into different areas? Could he have used some type of portal to do these things? And also when we see Jesus talking about he is the door, he is the gate, no one comes to the Father but by him. We look at that stuff like in a physical way, but what we need to understand is this is more spiritual behind that. Jesus is the gate, Jesus is the door, he's the way. And a lot of the times when that language is being used, door or gate, it's more than a physical thing. It's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual door that you have to go through in order to get to the Father through Christ. It's a spiritual gate that you have to get through to get to the Father through Christ. You know what I mean? Demonic principalities also have these doors and these gates that they maneuver in.
Open up some kind of tear in time and space. You create a doorway, like a gate.
That way is a different way. And why do you think that Jesus is saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life? No one comes to the Father but by me. Now, if you read the book of Enoch, which is a very controversial topic, but anyway, we're going to leave that alone. We're just going to talk about this aspect of Enoch, talking about these portals that are being opened on the 4 corners of the earth and how a lot of the things that are going on in that realm, you know, so we can't just push these things to the back. And also in the book of Revelation, when John was physically in Patmos, but he started to get these visions and actually had an outer body experience and was in the heavenly place of God, seeing all these things go on. You know what I mean? So although his physical body was still, yes, locked up in Patmos, his spiritual self was somewhere else. So can we say that something like that was some type of portal that God used to bring him through here? Let's just not think that these things aren't possible, because they are. You know what I mean? Now, there's a lot of reports going around saying that these drones are coming from the oceans. There's a lot of government officials that are out there now saying that, yes, these drones are definitely coming from the oceans. And there's a video out there that you can see where some of these drones are coming out from the oceans.
So the drones are coming from the inside of the ocean.
Hey, look, it's right there. And right there. And right there.
Breaking news. It's now confirmed. The drones originated from our oceans. Last Thursday, a sheriff from Ocean County, New Jersey, reported to state police, the FBI, and the U.S. Coast Guard that she witnessed 50 drones flying from the ocean toward the mainland.
There were 50 that came off the ocean. 50? 50. That was my reaction also.
The flight path crossed the navigational channel at Island Beach State Park. The sheriff, a sworn officer, is considered a highly credible witness. In response, the Ocean County Sheriff's Office immediately deployed its own industrial-grade drone to track one of the 50 drones reportedly emerging from the sea. However, what happened next was unusual. The mysterious drones emitted no heat signature, unlike typical drone, and quickly evaded pursuit. Later, Coast Guard officials reported that 13 drones, each with an 8-foot wingspan, had tailed one of their vessels.
Now, are they just coming from the oceans, or are they coming out from other different areas? We don't really know, but those are just some of the things that they're talking about. Now that we're on the topic of these drones coming out of the ocean, I want to talk about the Army versus Navy football game that was on a couple weeks ago. And from this ship, you see the drones coming out of the ships, and it looks like they were coming out of the water. But I find it a little funny that this came on right before the whole fiasco started happening with these drones. So things like that we have to pay attention to. Why I say that? Because the elite use a lot of subliminal messages on the TV shows, on movies, on special events, and they prep your brain to see these things, and we don't even know what's going on. And when they start to come, we just think it's regular, so we don't even put up a fight against it, not like that. So I thought that was a very interesting scenario that they had this commercial showing the ship that's in the water. They're showing the drones coming out of the ship, out of the water, and doing what they do. Now let's move on to Elon Musk. Like, I want to talk about Elon Musk. He's been having his face everywhere, especially since Trump has won the presidential election for 2025. Now I want to talk about some of Elon Musk's tweets. One of his tweets he put out on 9/29/24 says, "Epic drone wars coming." Another one he put out on that same day at 9 p.m. says, "Drone swarm battles are coming that will boggle the mind." And he did one just recently, December 20th, 2024, that says, "They have no idea. They don't know they're living in the Matrix, and the Matrix is about to receive a major software update." So we see here, Elon Musk knows exactly what's going on, knowing what he's doing. And I think we need to start paying more attention to Elon Musk. He's a very important figure in these end times. Like, we really have to see what this guy is about. He's really the one pushing this transhumanism and artificial intelligence agenda. He's the one who came up with Neuralink, which is a device that you can put in your brain and basically upgrade you, and you're able to do certain things with this. Like if you're disabled and you are paralyzed or something like that, this device can help you be normal again, basically.
Elon Musk claims there will be no phones in the future. Here is why. Elon Musk is confident that Neuralink's brain chips will eventually take the place of phones. It is worth mentioning that he serves as the CEO of Neuralink, a company dedicated to advancing brain chip technology. Additionally, Neuralink is currently conducting its first human trials with a 29-year-old individual named Nolan Arbaugh. This response was written in reference to an AI-generated image of Musk, where he is seen holding a phone with a neural network design on his forehead. The caption accompanying the picture asked, "Would you install a Neuralink interface on your brain to enable control of your new X phone through thoughts?" And user simply remarked, "That's going to be an extraordinary experience." Arbaugh, the initial human participant of Neuralink, suffered paralysis from the shoulders down due to an accident 8 years ago. On January 28th, he underwent a brain surgery and is currently displaying encouraging signs of recuperation. Notably, he has surpassed the 100-day milestone, prompting Neuralink to disclose comprehensive progress in a recent blog post. In March, a video was live-streamed by Neuralink to showcase Arbaugh's progress.
So these are all things that are part of the end times that people are ignoring. Now, of course, when it comes to this transhumanism thing, it's not going to be something that they're forcing on people in the beginning. Why? Because it's going to get to the point where people are going to be going in line for these things. Like, picture them promoting something saying, "Yo, you can take this device and you can live forever. You don't have to worry about getting sick anymore. You have diseases, this will cure your diseases, blah, blah, blah. You got a amputated arm or leg, this will help it grow back." People are going to be jumping in line for that, thinking that it's a good thing. The world is going to make it seem like this is such a big thing, and people are going to be going for it, not knowing that doing these things is going to be forfeiting your humanity. You guys don't understand that we are made in God's image. Every one of us are made in God's image, and he breathed his breath into us and gave us life. So now, what is the enemy doing? The enemy is trying to do the opposite of that and create his own thing and breathing his breath into this image. You know what I mean? When you participate in things like this, you're basically saying, "God, I want to get upgraded. I no longer want to be a human being. I want to get upgraded into this new being." And this is where we get transhumanism. We need to be paying more attention to Elon Musk, because I do believe he's going to be the one introducing the mark of the beast. And a lot of people keep asking, what is the mark of the beast? What is the mark of the beast? What is the mark of the beast? I think that's the wrong question. I think the question we need to be asking is, what does the mark of the beast do? The mark of the beast could be a couple different things, but what do those things do? What is the outcome of what those things are going to do to us? And I believe that the mark of the beast is going to be something where it's going to upgrade us to something else, where we're no longer a human being. You know what I mean? We see all these movies and cartoons since we were kids, like X-Men, half human, half mutant. We see all these movies where people are trading into humanity to become this super soldier, and could be strong and could be fast and could be extra smart. smart and you're just becoming something else, but you're no longer human anymore. That's why the book of Revelation talks about the mark of the beast, and whoever takes the mark of the beast, there's basically no coming back. Let me read that to you. In Revelation 14:9 it says, "And another angel, a third, followed them, saying with a loud voice, if anyone worships the beast and its image and receives a mark on his forehead or on his hand, he will also drink the wine of God's wrath, poured full strength into the cup of his anger, and he will be tormented with fire and sulfur in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." So basically, whoever takes the mark of the beast, there's no coming back from that. There's no repenting from that. Nothing. Once you do it, you're done. Now imagine what I'm saying is correct. Whoever's take this mark of the beast is no longer a human being. So pay attention to these things, you know? Now, a lot of these movies have been programming us for years. For so many years, they've been having movies about drones and stuff like that. We just look at it as entertainment, not knowing that they're telling a story. And when we start to see what's going on right now, we can start to look back at those movies and be like, wow. One of those movies is Spider-Man Far From Home.
The chance of getting hit is...
Fire all the drones now!
Where there's a scene in there where you see Mysterio, he's in some type of room, and he's basically doing a test run, practicing what he's going to be doing in the near future. He has these drones who are controlled by artificial intelligence doing what he says. One of the things that sticks out in there is he's using the technology which we call Project Bluebeam, which is basically technology where you can see holographic images in real life. And this technology is so strong where it goes further than that. You can actually start to sense things, smell things, feel things, and you would actually think that these things are there, hear things. You would actually think that you're hearing these things because this technology is so deceiving. But in this scene, you see him using this technology along with the drones and just practicing. And he's saying whatever he wants to it, pause, stop, and all this stuff is happening. But you're looking at this stuff and it's real holographic and it looks so real. And people will just be like, yeah, but that's just a movie. But no, this stuff is going on around in the world. There's so many videos out there. I'll show you a couple on the screen where you see this technology, which is holograms, looking like it's real life. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So for instance, the rapper Lil Uzi, a little while ago, did a album release, and he did like some type of thing in New York where they used the Project Bluebeam technology. And you see like UFO spacecrafts coming like in New York and people are running from it, but it looks real. So this technology is out there. This technology has been out there, and they're going to be using this in the end times. So be aware of that.
Or could it be manipulated purposely by people who have the technology to simulate UFO sightings? And people say, well, of course not. Who would do a thing like that? Well, I will remind you that during the Watergate investigation, it was discovered that there was a plan originated in the White House to surface a submarine off the coast of Cuba and paint the second coming of Christ over the island of Cuba using holograms. Which is well within our technology today. The idea was that since there is a large Catholic population in Cuba, they would be so upset by this vision that this would saturate the communication channels, the telephone system in Cuba, long enough for an invasion to take place. I have personally investigated several apparently genuine UFO cases where there was in fact a manipulation. My conclusion, the conclusion of scientists working with me, was that there was in fact a manipulation taking place, and that it was not a hoax on the part of the witnesses, but a hoax on the part of somebody much better organized than them.
Another movie I wanted to talk about was the movie The Signs. The reason I'm bringing the movie The Signs up because when it comes to this drone situation, there's videos out there of the days where these drones were out. There was a particular radio station that basically got intercepted, and you heard like these weird, funny, demonic voices. And it wasn't just one person. There was a lot of people who were seeing and hearing these same things. reason I brought up the movie The Signs, because there's a part in the movie of The Signs where they're holding some type of monitor and they're hearing voices, you know what I mean?
See, this is why we're not watching TV.
There's two of them talking.
And then also in that movie, they're like sitting down in the living room and they had an encounter with some type of alien, and they put the news on finally, and then the news is basically telling them what's going on with these aliens. And you look at the TV and you see drone-ish UFO looking things in the sky.
First appeared 52 minutes ago. Mexico City officials, as well as U.S. officials, have confirmed that these are not aircraft from either government's air force. The first sighting was made by an Air Mexico 747 en route from Mazatlan to New York as the unidentified crafts entered Mexico City airspace. They were not detected by radar by either country.
So it's kind of all of a foreshadowing thing, and this is why I'm bringing this stuff up. You may want to call these things conspiracy theories, but guys, how long do us conspiracy theorists have to be right before you guys start to believe that this stuff is real? The first 2-3 times I get it, like, all right, whatever, they got lucky with that one. But bro, we're consistent with these things. You guys will call us crazy and then go flick on the news and just listen to everything the news tell you, not knowing that the news is your enemy, bro. We're the ones who are trying to wake people up, you know what I mean? The scriptures warn us about all of these things, and I think we need to pay more attention to this stuff. Now, even with this situation, we have a lot of people bringing up the Bible verse in Ezekiel when it talks about a will within a will. And some people are saying that these orbs that they're seeing, or these stars that they're seeing, look exactly like what Ezekiel was describing. Now, I know what Ezekiel was describing, but is that exactly what he was describing? We all know the scriptures are symbolic. A lot of the scriptures have idioms, and some people may read something literal and not really know what they're really saying. So when Ezekiel was talking about the wheel within the wheel and there's eyes all over the wheel, there's a lot of people who started to draw that out, and the image is out there. And people are thinking that that's exactly what he was talking about. Is it? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it's literal like that or if it's basically symbolic, but I'm bringing that up because a lot of these orbs, the stars that they're seeing, it kind of has that depiction of like a wheel going in a wheel. So people are basically thinking that this has something to do with these angels also, you know? Now, I just want to point something out real quick. A couple years ago, I did a podcast episode called Fallen Angelians, which is basically talking about the aliens, the UFOs, and how I'm combining fallen angels with them, letting people know that these are not what you think they are. They're not aliens from other planets, but these are fallen angels and demons. So that's why I called it that. In this episode, I go in great detail about the UFOs and aliens. I start to get into the movies that they're in. I start to get into the subliminal messages. I start to get into who they are and what they're doing and what the outcome is going to be with them, the grand deception. In that episode, I also start to get into transhumanism and artificial intelligence mixed in with these aliens and mixed in with the New World Order and the beast system. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're going into, the New World Order and the beast system. So there's a couple things in there that I want to show you guys here. One of them was a situation that happened in Jersey a long time ago, where on this radio station, they did a fake alien invasion. So the people on this radio station were acting like there was a real alien invasion coming on in this world, and they were doing a real good job acting, and the whole world started to go in a frenzy. Like this was a live show and everybody was really thinking that this was a real alien invasion, and everybody was just going crazy. But I don't think it's a coincidence that that happened in New Jersey, and now look what's happening in New Jersey now, you know? So those are just things that I want to talk about, and I'm gonna give you some clips, but when you get a chance, check out this episode. You can find it on YouTube at U.G.L.Yeshua. Let me show you a couple things from there. I want to talk about the radio scare. The War of Worlds was a Halloween episode of the radio series The Mercury Theater on the Air, directed and narrated by Orson Welles, as an adaptation of H.G. Wells' novel The War of the Worlds in 1898, that was performed and broadcast live at 8 p.m. ET on October 30th, 1938 over the CBS radio network. The episode is famous for inciting a panic by convincing some members of the listening audience that a Martian invasion was taking place, though the scale of panic is disputed as the program had relatively few listeners. So here we have this incident where they did a live test this radio station and said that there was an alien invasion and had all their listeners going into a crazy frenzy.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the latest bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News, Toronto, Canada. Professor Morse of Macmillan University reports observing a total of 3 explosions on the planet Mars between the hours of 7:45 p.m. and 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This confirms earlier reports received from American observatories. Now, nearer home, comes a special bulletin from Trenton, New Jersey. It is reported that at 8:50 p.m. a huge flaming object, believed to be a meteorite, fell on a farm in the neighborhood of Grover's Mill, New Jersey, 22 miles from Trenton. The flash in the sky was visible within a radius of several hundred miles, and the noise of the impact was heard as far north as Elizabeth. We have dispatched a special mobile unit to the scene, and we'll have our commentator, Carl Phillips, give you a word picture of the scene as soon as he can reach there from Princeton. It is reported that at 8:50 p.m. a huge flaming object, believed to be a meteorite, fell on a farm in the neighborhood of Grover's Mill, New Jersey, 22 miles from Trenton.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever witnessed. Wait a minute. Someone crawling out of the pit. I can make out a small beam of light against a mirror. There's a jet of flame springing from the mirror and it leaps right at the advancing men. It strikes them head on. Oh, Lord, they're turning into flames. Oh, the whole field's caught up by the woods, the cars, the gas tanks of the automobiles spreading everywhere. Coming this way now, about 20 yards to my right.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed those clips right there. Again, you can find that on U.G.L.Yeshua. So what is the end game of all this? The end game of all this is they are going to be introducing these aliens.
And the funniest one of all was against what he called aliens, extraterrestrials. That would be the final card. And over and over and over during the 4 years that I knew him and was giving his speeches for him, he would bring up that last card. And remember, Carol, the last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens. And all of it, he said, is a lie.
And these aliens will be coming into this world, into this realm, and playing as they are creators. They will be acting like they're the ones who sent this Jesus or sent all these gods, and all these gods are the same. And they're going to say that all religions lead to us, the creators. All you guys can come together. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I want to talk about the ecumenical movement. It's basically a movement led by the Pope, which is saying that all religions lead to the same God. All religions need to get together, come together, and be one. So when these aliens come here into this world, these fallen angels, I should say, they're all going to be promoting everything as one, a one world beast system, a one world system where everybody can be together as one, and this whole world is going to change. We're already on the brink of that right now. But I do believe that this whole drone situation is going to lead up to that, and that's going to be one of the end time deceptions, because so many people are going to be believing these things, and a lot of believers are even going to be believing these things. You know what I mean? So this is why we need to stay in tune in the Word of God and know what's going on. We need to know the schemes of the enemy, so that when the enemy tries to scheme on us, he's not allowed to scheme on us, because we use the gift of discernment that Holy Spirit gives us, you know? I think all of this stuff is lining up with each other, especially with the situation that just went down at the Vatican, where the Pope was opening the Holy Door, which are 5 secret doors that they're calling 5 portals. This is basically called the Jubilees, and it happens every 25 years. They even called this event a ritual. They're saying that they're opening the prison doors to pray for the salvation of souls who are in prison, which is basically purgatory, which is one of the things that the Catholic Church teaches. What are they really opening? Is it deeper than what they're saying? We do know that this Jubilee takes place every 25 years. I can show you a couple videos of older ones that took place in the past. But even when you watch this video, they did a live stream. Why are they doing a live stream? But who knows? But anyway, you see when they're opening this door, you see the look on the Pope's face. Like, he just looks like he's nervous. Like, we're thinking one thing is going on, but he knows exactly what's going on. And there's some evil, demonic, eerie things going on when it comes to this stuff. Now, prior to the event, before they went in, they had to break the wall. So on December 2nd, they broke the wall that sealed the door. Then they removed the metal box that contained handles and the key to open the door. And they got the keys open it, and then voila, here we go. Could they have distracted us by telling us the Pope was doing this on Christmas Eve? Meanwhile, they did it weeks ago, which is why we started to see these orbs in the sky. So imagine we're just waiting for this specific date on Christmas Eve for them to do it, but they already did it. And this is where we start to see all the action in the sky. This is where we start to see all the orbs in the sky. Now, what are these orbs? Are these good angels or these bad angels? If I had to take a guess, I'll believe that they're bad angels. I believe that these angels have found ways to open portals to come into this realm in an easier fashion because their time is short. They done got kicked out of the heavenly realms, or a heavenly realm where they were at prior to this time. We all know in the book of Revelation, it talks about when Satan gets kicked out of heaven, he knows that his time is short, and this is going to be the time when he kicks up. So does all this have anything to do with one another? Of course it does. Of course it does. And I just want to let you guys know that we need to be prepared for what's going to be happening in 2025, because there's going to be a lot of deeper stuff, and the church is going to start to witness a lot of persecution, and it's going to get real crazy out here. But praise God, because as he says in the scripture, when you see all these things happening, look up with your head in the sky and rejoice, because our redemption draws near. Christ is on the way back, and we are seeing these things unfold right in our face. A lot of people say they don't believe in the Bible. A lot of people say the Bible's fake. The Bible's been man-written. The Bible has so many contradictions in it. They say Jesus is fake. They say Jesus has been saying he's coming back for all these years and still ain't here. And there's things that need to happen before he comes back. But he has been warning us. This stuff is for the end times. In the book of Enoch, it says this is for the future generation. In the book of Daniel, it says shut up these words and seal the book until the time of the end. We are near the end. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys sticking around with me. I know I was a little late on this topic, but we got here, and I hope I shared some good information. So love you guys. All truth is important, because the truth will set you free. All truth leads to Christ. Yeshua said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Until next time.